Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast with myself, Glenn, and Julian. And we had a bit of a problem yesterday in the pub. Not only was it a really shit day on the football pitch, but we had a problem recording the pod, which was a massive pain in the ass. So, hence us doing Zoom right now on a Monday morning, talking about that shower yesterday. Julian, 1 to 10, how pissed off are you still this morning?
I'm still I'm still 10. I'm still pissed off.
Yeah.
I hoped that a good night's sleep and a heavy few glasses of red wine would help. Maybe I'd be more pissed off about the hangover rather than the result, but it didn't work. And here's the thing: Man United, we know, are dire, right? They're a mess. Tactically, you never really know what you're going to get from them, apart from they're probably going to be pretty lucky at times. But I'm pissed off at us because we didn't learn from the FA Cup game. I mean, I'm not pissed off at the Mancs. I couldn't care about them. But the FA Cup game kind of gave us a good warm up for what to expect, what we need to do, what we need to take advantage of. And we didn't do it. And I remember texting you through the first half. I was watching it at home, and it was immediately apparent that we were creating plenty of chances, but yet again, we were so wasteful. And this keeps happening again and again and again. So I was really irritated with the first half. It felt like we needed to put that game to bed, get it done, but we didn't do that, and we fell back into what we've seen, especially over recent games since late February, I think, where we have been making bad decisions going forward because the creativity is there. We're obviously creating plenty of chances, but we're getting into that those positions in and around the box where that final pass or it's the wrong type of shot, and it's really fucking annoying when when you see it. So I'm still at a 10. But still, we are still joint top of the league, right? That's the thing. Everyone can get pissed off, and we are, and rightfully so. We should be, but we are still top of the league. We are well in this title race. Just because we drew against Manchester United doesn't mean we're out of it. We're not. We're joint on points, and that's going to be, different things are going to happen over the last 7 games. It's still there to be won. It's just an overall sense of disappointment that we didn't learn from the previous game, and that game was there to be won. We played well up till that final and most important part of the game, which is making the right decisions, and we didn't do that. What that's down to, I don't know. If we knew that, if Klopp knew that, then it would be a different situation.
Yeah, I think I've never been so frustrated going in 1-0 at half time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just felt like as long as the game went, it was we've got to put one in the way, we've got to put one in the way, we've got. And the fact that I think I read today was 84 shots of the 3 games that we played in the cup and the 2 league games, and obviously we've scored. I think it's 5 goals, isn't it, we've scored against them, which is just outrageous. And obviously, from yesterday's game, the fact that we've scored 2 goals and none of them have been from open play.
Well, that's it in the league, isn't it? In the games,
it's just wild, isn't it?
And it was fuck. We've discussed this a bunch. In fact, the first half, there was so many opportunities. Like there was the clear one where Diaz was going through, and he played it to Salah, and the moment Diaz played the ball, I'm like, he's fucking hit that behind him.
Yeah.
Where it was obvious to all. I mean, it's easiest for us to say, of course, that you play in front, Salah runs onto it, hits it in a stride, goes in the back of the net. But it's little things like that it's probably the biggest difference between the Mane, Firmino, Salah had such an understanding. They knew where each other's were making runs. They knew when to take the shot and when someone was in a better position. These 3, Diaz, Núñez, Salah, there's no real. They don't have a connection, all right. And I would have thought by this stage of the season there should be some, and I don't see that, and which is why we're getting into these positions and we're making. I mean, we saw it. I mean, yeah, it was constant first half. It was constant second half, and there's just we obviously were privileged to see Mane, Firmino, and Salah be so exceptional that this is a downgrade at the moment. They are new. They are still learning to play with each other, but it's just extremely disappointing that simple passes are not being made.
Yeah, but I don't really think you can say there's no real connection. I think there is. It's just that, it's particularly in Diaz and Nunez's case, they're just not as good. Like, it's like they're around the box, they're not as good. They're not as
Composed.
Yeah, but we'll moving on, because I don't really want to spend that much time speaking about this game, because let's say we've already done.
What do I?
I've already
forget about it. Yeah,
sort of done it yesterday. At this sort of point now, like yesterday, honestly, if anyone would have said to me, "Oh, we're still top, we're level of Arsenal," and you know, you always have one of those, two or three of those people that are quite positive after the game. And I'll be honest, there was a few in the pub, and I genuinely thought I was going to murder them, because I couldn't speak for about 15 minutes of just rage, and I was so deflated. I'm thinking, but now obviously a day later, taking a sort of back seat and thinking about it, I think if Liverpool now, for me, if they go on, and they have to now, I think we have to be perfect now from now in the season. And I think if we are, then we will win the league. But it's obviously easier said than done.
The perfect thing. I said that a week ago. You know, I felt like, you know, now there's 7 games remaining, but I thought a week, even 2 weeks ago, with us, Man City and Arsenal in such a battle, I think each team has to be perfect. 100, yeah, of course, we have to be perfect from now on. That's a massive 2 points dropped yesterday. I'm still not convinced by this. Let's talk about the other two just for a brief second. Man City still I don't feel like they're what they were in previous seasons. I always feel like they're going to concede goals. Now, if obviously Foden scored the hat-trick the other day, he's looking really good. Haaland hasn't really got back into the qualities we know he has.
Fucking great. Well said, dickhead.
Huh?
Well said. Look, he's going to score 5. He's going to score 5 at the weekend now.
All right, you want me to say that? I'm just saying, these are the facts at the moment. See, I'm still not 100% convinced, but we're obviously all basing it off how good City have been in previous seasons in the running. They've been a machine. I'm not quite seeing that yet. Arsenal look like the Man City of previous seasons. It's impossible to see where they're going to drop points. They've been that good, especially since the turn of the year. They're obviously the best defense in the league. They're the best attack in the league. They look pretty unstoppable at the moment. And the Champions League.
Julian, hold on. No, because you can't say that. You can't say you think they've got the best attack in the league.
I didn't know. They had the most goals scored in the league.
Okay. That wasn't what you said. Though. You said they were the best attack in the league.
They scored the most in the league. They conceded the least in the league.
Right.
I think Arsenal, I would be surprised if they drop points. The only thing that is going to be the hindrance is the Champions League. This is massive for them, of course. I think if Arsenal, more so than us and City, if Arsenal pick up a couple of injuries to their main, like either their centre-backs or Declan Rice or Saka's out for a while, then I think Arsenal might struggle. Then they might fall off. If they keep all of them fit, then they're in pretty good shape. But the Champions League is huge these next couple of weeks. That's obviously massive for them and City, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I think our next 2 games, now, again, I was really confident going into that United game. And one thing that I think we're due giving somebody an absolute hiding, aren't we? For the amount of chances that we've made in so many of the games, even United, looking at the 2 United Cup games, you're looking at Brighton, I know this isn't the league, but you're looking at Sparta Prague, Man City, even in the second half, the amount of chances that we've created. I feel like somebody is due an absolute hiding. which obviously will be helpful, because this good thing could even go to goals. But our next two games, if we can get through them, I do think I do think. I mean, again, it could be wishful thinking. I think Villa at home for Arsenal after Bayern Munich, and then Wolves away after Bayern Munich. I think they may slip up one of those two games. But again, it could be.
I hope so.
I'm quite dismissive about Arsenal. I don't really. I think they're really good, and I think that first half that they played us at Anfield, I think it's probably they were unbelievable. I think there's not going to say they're probably even better than City against us. Especially that first 20, 25 minutes, they were unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was the first time I thought, they've got a little bit about them. These.
I was impressed actually on that. I was impressed with how Arsenal played against Man City a couple of weeks back. I know everyone was saying, "Oh, it's a boring game, etc." Yeah. I thought Arsenal learned from previous seasons. Obviously they went there to not get beat. I think Arteta said, and a couple of players said, "Oh, we went there to win." They didn't. They went there to make sure they got out of there and they didn't get beat. And they did that, and they stifled City. And it was a performance from Arsenal that we haven't really seen like in the past couple of seasons. And I think it's shown how much they've grown as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. But bringing it back to us really is that's where I feel like if we can win the remainder of the games, if obviously we've got to go to Everton now as well, and we just found out that they've got another 2-point deduction, so no doubt those guards will be out at Goodison Park playing in the Premier League for everything. Honestly, by the way, let's have a little go. I'll have a little go at Everton for a second. I've never known a football team or a football club to get away with absolute murder. All their fans ever go on about is the Premier League all the time. The board is the most corrupt, shocking board in the Premier League, and they've got away with murder. Anyway, back to Liverpool. I think that derby game could become difficult simply because our record there, as though they've been shit, our record there over the last few years has been a bit iffy. So that's probably the one where
I think we've won twice at Goodison under Klopp. Obviously, we've drawn a bunch. We don't lose much, but we've drawn a bunch. It's going to be difficult. Anyone going into a derby game, regardless of where Everton are in the league, thinking it's going to be easy is a little bit deluded, especially at this stage of the season, and especially with us fighting for the title and Everton fighting to save themselves from relegation. It's going to be a battle, and that's a derby. It should be. That's what it should be like.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, well, we'll move on towards got a game. Obviously, we're doing this on the Monday. We are. Do you know one thing I will say, mate? Before we even go on anything, it's good now that we've sort of got these games coming up, because I feel like we've got loads of players that need minutes. Do you know what I mean? So like Curtis, even Szoboszlai, the front three, Salah, just players that either they need the minutes for their fitness, or they need the minutes to just get back into rhythm. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's definitely true of Salah. I thought Salah was really poor against Man United. He hasn't been great since coming back from the injury. But Salah is someone that needs to do game time. If we're going to win both the Europa League and we're going to win the Premier League, we need an exceptional Mo Salah. We really do, because you can't rely on the others up front. The only ones you can really rely on is Jota. The sooner he gets back, the better. The sooner he gets back, we've got another player there that's guaranteed is going to take chances, and then Salah as well. But Salah definitely, I hope he starts against Atalanta, because he does need that time. Szoboszlai, you're right. I think he needs more minutes on the pitch. Curtis Jones, I think, is vital for us. He has been in previous seasons, especially in the run-ins. He's got some big decisions to make, because it's a different situation now than what it was a couple of months ago when we were struggling for players, when we had so many players out, and it was literally, pulling the youngsters in because there was no one available, and our bench was at the bare minimum. Now it's different because the majority are fit. There's obviously some notable absentees, but the majority are fit. Now, how does Klopp fit them all in? Because you have players like, Harvey Elliott, who's been brilliant the last month or two while players have been out. And now it almost feels like we miss him when he's not starting games.
Yeah, he was brilliant yesterday, wasn't he, when he come on?
He was exceptional. You got Joe Gomez as well. I mean, Joe Gomez has been brilliant all season, but now Robertson is back and Bradley is playing right back. Gomez has been on the bench. Do we miss him? So it's all good things because you want the options there. It just presents a different situation and different challenge for Klopp to now, okay, what is the best team? How much do I rotate, for example, against Atalanta? What do I swap? But I don't want to lose that rhythm as well.
Yeah,
we've been through it before, so
it's tough. It's even like we're talking there about when Jota comes back and when Trent comes back. It's like it's good to sort of have them back, but then you got to get that balance right of you want them to sort of get the minutes, but they've also like Szoboszlai, Curtis, they've been out for a while. Trent's been out for a while, Jota's been out for a while. So you're getting them back in, but they're going to be off it. They're not at it yet. Like Salah's been out for so long, and like it takes time to sort of get back into the rhythm of it.
Yep.
So having these games will be good. But I say we are doing on Monday, so no doubt something might change. But team wise, do you expect Canate to play, or do you think he might do a concert again, or even a Joe Gomez at centre back maybe?
I think he'll. I think it's more likely if Gomez does come back in. I'm not so sure he's going to put Gomez in a centre back. I think he might give Bradley a break and put Gomez in right back. If he does that, he might continue to play Quansah. I think we've seen this before with young players. They come in, they've been brilliant, they make a mistake. I think it's a good thing. Actually, let's keep him in the lineup rather than take him out. Canate, we need him fit. We can't have him keep coming back in, plays really well, then he gets injured, then he's out a couple of weeks. It keeps happening. If he's got any little niggles, I think let's rest Canate.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I think having a bit of experience, that side on the right with Gomez once of that, I think that helps as well. So
I wonder. I agree with that. By the way, I would do the same. I'd just keep Conser in and have Canate available for Crystal Palace on Saturday. I'm wondering about Robertson. He played the whole game yesterday. I thought he was great. By the way, I thought he was really, really good. Robertson. He was one of our better players. I'm wondering whether they may give Costas a game, maybe just because he played that 90 minutes, Robertson, and I wonder whether they really want to try and keep him fresh and available for.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, and we're not, Atlanta are a decent side, right? So we want to make sure that we don't make so many changes that it disrupts the rhythm of our team, and we're thinking too far ahead. The Greek, maybe, yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. Robertson's played a lot since coming back from injury. I'm not so sure. I think it might be that Robertson would be one that falls into needs the game time.
Yeah.
So
I was just checking there because I was double checking it was at home. If you're going to play Costas in at home, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Centre midfield, maybe Harvey for Szoboszlai.
Yeah. But again, we go back to this is where it gets difficult. The conversation about some players needs minutes. Szoboszlai does, but I think the midfield maybe needs freshening up a bit. I know we've chatted about this. I'm not convinced that the Szoboszlai and Salah on that side works. Ideally, I think they kind of clash with what they're doing. I think it pushes Salah.
That's what you've said. I have not said that. That's what you.
I feel like it's with Szoboszlai and Salah. I'm not so sure it's working at the moment. So I could see Elliott. I think Elliott would be ideal for this. It could be an Elliott, Endo, McAllister. There is that potential to give Endo a rest here because we know he's just come back from like a
Yeah,
little nick
yeah,
or whatever it was.
yeah.
And you don't want to, we don't want to go into the final games of the season missing our best defensive midfielder in the squad. So there
But I
is a
just think
possibility.
what he gives McAllister as well, eh? Like
Yeah,
having McAllister there, but I know what you mean. It is a tough one because it feels like you've got Curtis, you've got, like we seen before, Curtis, Szoboszlai and Endo. You've got them all back, but they're all sort of like you don't really
yeah.
want any of them to play 90 minutes right now, do you? So it'll be interesting to sort of see. Gakpo's got to play, I think.
I think so. I think Gakpo. We need to see. I think we need to see something different in front three. Try something different. I think this is the ideal game for Gakpo to come in. So I would agree wholeheartedly with that. I think
Nunes.
Gakpo will start. I think Nunes. I think he'll probably keep Diaz. I think Diaz is the one player at the moment of the front three that is playing well. He's obviously getting involved. He looks like someone that can make things happen. He also looks like the one out of those front three of Nunes, Salah. Diaz looks like the one who's going to be the one who's going to get the goals. And you would have said that he's least likely normally. But I think Diaz will probably stay in. I think it'll be Diaz, Gakpo, probably Salah.
Yeah. It would be really, really handy to try and get this. I know I don't want to be like two things at the end of the quarterfinal of the Europa League. You know, they've just beaten Sporting Lisbon, who've got the greatest manager in the world. So, which obviously we'll touch on soon. But if there's any way that we can try and get this game done from this home leg, it would massively help, wouldn't it? What's your thoughts going into scores and stuff?
Well, yeah, I agree. Let's have a really good performance, and we do a really good 90-minute performance as well. I think that's going to help our confidence because we've struggled in the first half of games recently as well. And then normally second half we're able to come out and fix that by scoring a couple of goals. But I would want to see a really good 90-minute performance. Obviously win the game. Yeah, the ideal scenario is that we close this game in the first half and win 3 or 4-0. Looking at Atalanta's results, I don't think that's likely. They look, while their league position wouldn't suggest it, they've got a decent record against, decent teams. And if they do lose, like they did a few times earlier in the season against top teams, it's only been like a goal or two. So I'm not sure we're going to smash them or anything like that. I think it's going to be pretty cagey. I would expect us to win, like I would do at the beginning of pretty much all games.
Give me a score then, bloody hell.
Huh?
Give me a score.
I'm not just going to throw. I've got to back up the score 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my score prediction of the weekend looking at an absolute knobhead now, don't I? And the fact that what I say about Manu, because every time a youngster plays well for 5 or 6 games, basically the English media goes mad. And obviously, I've said that thing about Manu, and he goes and puts one in the top corner and makes me look like a bit of a dickhead now, doesn't he? But I think it'll be a bit of a weird one. I think it might be a bit of a mad scoreline. So I'll go 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think I got a score prediction a couple of weeks ago. Might be the first one in 2 years. I got one right. So
yeah,
don't be piling on in the
extremely slim. Extremely, say that again. Extremely slim, or we'd all be millionaires going down the bookies.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Don't be going to the bookies after listening to us. All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap it there because I've got 8 minutes left on my Zoom, so I've got to try and get off this. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Get us all on the socials and let us know Liverpool's still going to win this league. Let us know in the comments and we'll see you all soon. Take care.